federal agency, state agency, and levels of county government. And that's what it takes to make this work. That is a team in and of itself. So the county is to be commended on that. So that's basically Incident Command Team 1A. If anyone has any questions, I'd be glad to entertain it.
Questions from the board for either Chief Waterman or Chief Romero? Concerns from the public? Anyone wishing to speak to the chiefs? Okay.
Thank you.
Just a final wrap-up. We kind of segued into it. I led off earlier about that cooperative effort, and I think it deserves to be recognized that we've had visual presence with the Sheriff's Department, if not Tom himself, but his undersheriff has spent long hours at headquarters when we were up there. Has been well represented and coordinated effort. Last night, we put together a plan with the help of your Chief Executive Officer. We're running a joint information center with a lot of county personnel, and that is one of the places we were behind the 8 ball in, and we're starting to turn that corner and get good positive information out there to the public and the media. And that is set up at a county facility and working now and working well. And there are going to be other opportunities, so that contact has been established. And I just can't help but part with what your local fire districts and volunteer firefighters are out there doing. I'm up here because I'm the unit chief and to give us a presence. Those folks are out there in the trenches and have been out there since Friday night, and they are doing a tremendous job. The other thing I would mention is the efforts and the independent action of the large-scale property owners as well as small-scale property owners. We've already had numerous reports of folks just banded together out there and have put small things out. You know, fires less than the size of this room, and that's been a tremendous help. And if it weren't for that, we've been in far worse shape. So, you know, for the folks that are out there and transmitting to the public, we appreciate everything they've done and everything all of our cooperators have done, particularly the County of Mendocino.
Chief, I have a couple questions, it looks like, from the board. Supervisor Colfax.
Chief, with regard to the work being done by folks who may not be affiliated with a fire department or have any official standing, I've had a couple of calls from people, ex-loggers, some people who have farm equipment and so forth. In one case, I was told, and I don't have any evidence of this, that it was discouraged that they tried to do cut a fire break and so on. And I mentioned liability and the usual things and try to explain that is something that may not be approved. But I hear you saying here that there have been some individual and community efforts. Should this be encouraged, or should it be discouraged, or should we advise those people to make sandwiches rather than trying to get out on the line and do the physical work to protect in areas where there is not protection at the present time?
Well, I think when it comes to fire protection efforts, whether it's pre-fire or during the time of the fire, is a basic property owner's responsibility. Fire departments exist to do over and above. So if property owners are out there taking action on their own property, there's nothing I can do to stop them, nor would I want to. The issue comes in that fine line of who we actually bring into our organization and direct. Once we start directing, that's where the liability comes from and the training issues. You know, we're supposed to be in ramp-up mode right now. I've got 30 firefighters at Howard Forest in training. They were scheduled to come on duty Monday. Yesterday, we brought them on. We have started that. We've segregated them between half of them are returning firefighters and half are new. The new will stay longer, and we're making a commitment because we felt 30 firefighters in the long run is worth getting out there. It took about 3 or 4 people to do that. The issue is liability. I can't just hire even the people with past experience and throw them out there. So, but, you know, again, this situation points out to rural property owners need to provide fire safe clearance and need to take actions ahead of time. And, you know, there's some folks out there that may be in spots. It's kind of a conundrum. The best time of year to actually do that is early in the spring when the fire danger is down, especially with folks using large mechanical equipment, especially mowers and weed eaters and that kind of stuff. So I don't want to get too carried away and get everybody out there. Otherwise, we'll have some mechanical fire starts, and we don't need that right now. But, you know, folks in an immediate area that are taking action on their own property, it's a good thing.
Chief, there are self-responsibility issues that people can take without raising the specter of causing additional fires, such as sweeping their roofs, cleaning out their gutters, moving the wood pile away from their house. Common sense things that don't take mechanized equipment. I'm often thought of the county adopting a set of rules you might call the ranch rules. This is a rural county. A lot of our roads are dirt. They're going to have potholes. But this county is self-reliant. People need to take self-responsibility and take care of their properties. These are things that I'm talking about that can be done in a little bit of work, but go a long way in helping the professionals when they come to your property eventually to take care of business. So it doesn't take mechanized equipment to do a little bit of self-responsibility. Mr. Mitchell.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I wanted to take just a brief moment to introduce you to our PIOs that are currently working the fire from Team 4. We have Mike Carr that is with us. He is our PIO on loan here to us to help us out. And sitting next to Mike is Teresa from HHSA agency. She is our PIO ordinarily in HHSA. She's on permanent loan now to the executive office to function as the PIO in coordination with Team 4.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Any other concerns or questions of the two chiefs before I ask them to get back to work?
We will leave the map for folks to look at. Again, I would caution you on the map. We know there's stuff that's not displayed on there, and so I don't want folks to think there's nothing in this area, I don't have anything to worry about. That's may or may not be the case.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank
Chief.
you.
Thank you all. Stay safe. Okay, related to this issue, and one more issue we need to bring up before we go to the public hearing, is a off-agenda item from the CEO's office in relation to a vote to adopt the state of emergency that's been proclaimed by the Sheriff's Office. I think we all have that before us, so I need an action to take an off-agenda item.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded to take this item as an off-agenda item.